I was like, cheese.
Welcome everyone.
Can't see you
I
with
can't
the
see at all
glasses
because I have these glasses on that I said I was going to wear. How are you guys this evening? We're having fun here in the Offbeat Time studio. This is Sass and the Beard, and we are so excited that you have decided to join us. If you don't have your Eclipse glasses, you can get some really cool looking glasses that you can't see jack squat out of. You could probably look directly at the sun with these bad boys on, and it wouldn't hurt your eyes, which is the whole point of the glasses.
Our signal, though, to start the show is a hand signal that Nathan completely could not see and none of us thought about.
Had no idea that we were ready to go. I heard 3, 2, 1, and we were just sitting here. So lots of fun things to talk about this week, Kristen. I'm taking these glasses off.
Please
You
do.
can get these glasses at one of our sponsors, Retro Roast. They are an amazing place to get coffee. There's a bookstore there as well, Dog Eared Books.
They're so cute too. Look,
Yeah.
they've got the little Deb.
Deb is
and
there.
The,
And the R&R cup.
yeah. Oh, and it says Joshua's
And
Fine Jewelry on the other side. I hadn't seen
Also,
that side
Joshua's Fine Jewelry. You could get those at Joshua's Fine Jewelry.
yet. Joshua's Fine Jewelry doesn't sponsor our show.
Well, it would kind of be like...
But Retro Roast does. And man, last week we had that coffee. It was so good. I was so energized and motivated when I left and should be going to bed, but I got a lot done. It was great.
It was like that kid from... What's the Will Ferrell movie where he drives the car? The NASCAR?
Oh.
And he's all, I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew. Except it's not Mountain Dew. It's,
Talladega Nights.
yeah, you should totally edit a video for Retro Roast for that kid.
That was really good. Yep. So.
Kristen, there's an elephant in the room. And we need to address it.
Is it shaped like a basketball?
So we posted a video of a junior high basketball game. A mom from the opposing team posted a video, and lots of people shared it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were getting tagged and sent us
Right.
a lot, yeah.
And so because of the traction and the we shared it because we felt like it was something that everybody.
Well, it's one of those things. Like, it's kind of like trending here locally.
Yeah.
People are talking about it, and so it was like, what's up? And the video did look questionable. It
Right.
is a short clip. There's not a lot of context. You don't know for sure what's happening. But yeah, we shared it, and people had a lot of opinions about whether or not we even should have shared it. More opinions, I think, about whether or not we should have shared it than about the actual play sometimes. But it was, one of those things. I made a post about it as well because I really, I stand by the decision. I was the one that initially shared it, but we always kind of do this together. But I went back and I've, got more context, got more information, and I went and watched not just more of the video, I watched the whole game.
Yeah. The fact that's some commitment to
actually
journalistic integrity.
Honestly, I ended up watching the game because the kid in the video that's from Russellville, the one that threw the ball, man, that kid can hoop.
He's really good. Yeah.
He's really good. Like a lot of those kids are. It was really impressive. Now, I watched it and I have an opinion about the play, like the hit in the face. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to get on here and use this platform to bash a kid. Right. Like, but the thing that got me about this when I saw it was really the coach response, the adult response in the room, and then watching further into the game, just some really aggressive play. And I know some people don't see any problem with that. They think it's fine. It's just part of the sport, and that's okay. But for me, it was just one of these things where I'm like, I don't know. I thought sports.
Is this what we're doing now?
I thought that this was supposed to be about being a team player and being a good sport and
sportsmanship
and things like that, being a leader, you know what I mean? And I didn't see that getting represented.
Not like the Hunger Games. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I didn't see that being represented, not only in that little clip, but in some further, parts of the video of that play. And so for me, that's concerning, especially knowing that there have been some really serious issues with bullying happening at RJ at the junior high,
Yeah.
Russell Junior High. Not that doesn't mean it has anything to do with this kid.
No.
And really, you know, the kids who are there playing, like I'm not all hung up on them. I think that it's kind of beneath adults to go online and trash kids, but I do think that, you know, when something like this is trending, it's worth a conversation. I would have liked to have seen, you know, more of a response from the school district in the video of them just, you know, I don't know, like just some of the attitude after the kid, because this kid got hit hard. Like you get hit in the face with a ball and go down. It didn't just like bounce off his face. Like it put him on the floor. And you know, like to me, like I'm a parent.
It seemed like a big deal.
Yeah, as a parent, I'm like, oh my gosh, look, all I can say is after watching the video, reading the comments online and stuff is, look, I'm just glad my kids are nerds. That's where I came down with this. I'm glad my kids are nerds.
Well, and I appreciated what you said in your personal Facebook post about, you know, this at every level was taken very seriously, and it may not have been as big a deal as it was made out to be.
Yeah.
But also we are constantly being told about issues with stuff going on at the junior high. And, you know, we like to keep track of things so that when we talk with elected officials, when we talk to the community, we can be like, look, this is what we are hearing. This is what is going on. So I'm glad we kind of...
Yeah. Now, I will say, you know, a lot of people get really, like, weird about, like, oh, my gosh, it's a video of a minor, and it got shared. And I'm like, look, they're in a ball game. Like, there's no expectation of privacy here. Like, you're not... You know what I mean? Like, to me, that's all very overblown. But I do feel like it is important that adults involved remember, like, you know, you are talking about a kid. Like, don't go there.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, just wanted to address it early on, since it's, like you said, it is kind of the elephant in the room. But let's keep going because we have a lot to talk about tonight.
And Kristen, I want you to tell all the people here how you are working within the state of Arkansas to make Arkansas voting great again. I'm like super proud of you, like to know you in this moment because...
Wait, is that what we're going to call it?
Because y'all, she in her like full real daytime job, she spends all of her time really hanging out with one of the coolest people in the world. So to credit that you get that, Joyce Elliott. But the organization that you work for, like your job is to figure out how we can encourage people to register to vote, inform people about what they're voting for, and marketing information and even like you notice that our state has an issue with people being able to register through online, you know?
Yeah. So Arkansas is one of only, I think, 7 states that does not have online voter registration. Mm-hmm. It's something that's been available for well over a decade in many states, and is in most states they have online voter registration. It came very close to passing in Arkansas in the 2021 session, but then there was, you know, after all the like craziness that happened after that election, like there was a lot of change in sentiment from some of the legislators that did not want to get involved with it anymore. But, you know, I'm a big fan of understanding the rules, of going and reading the information for myself and doing a lot of research. And so one of the things I found out when I started my job is that Arkansas does not require a wet signature on a voter registration application. So like a what that means is like a pen signed on, you know what I mean?
That sounds
kind
of dirty.
But that's legally what you call it, a wet signature. I know.
Is that like when you write your name in the snow?
Gross. But anyway, so we had been doing this for a while. We've had this up for a while, and we've seen a lot of success with it. That on our website at getloudarkansas.org, you can go through and fill out your whole registration form online and sign it online.
Getloudarkansas.org.
It's live. They can't.
I know, but we should be like.
But it will.
Get it.
She's getting it. But so if you go there and you click register to vote, you can fill out your whole form online, sign it, and then we'll submit it. And, you know, we had been kind of unsure, like, if there would be pushback about this. We kind of were waiting to see how it went. But anyways, we did get some updates from the Secretary of State's office earlier this week that they are advising clerks to accept the forms and accept the signatures as they are. So, I mean, technically, I sort of created Arkansas's first online voter registration.
I think that the Secretary of State should just literally take your form and just put it on their website.
We've actually had a couple county clerks ask if they could do that.
Yeah,
and so
it's a great
thing.
But
it just takes all the information you enter, like makes it really easy, and then it just transposes it on to the voter registration application. We still have to mail it in and submit it. You're not like registering online.
Yeah.
But
GetLoudArkansas.org.
But anyways, yes. So that was a really nice experience. To see that these are
the champagne bottles and the confetti. You won the Super Bowl.
Thanks. Am I Taylor Swift?
You're Taylor Swift.
I won't sing. Spare y'all that.
So that's awesome. Really proud of you for doing that.
We're not calling it "Make Voting Great Again."
If there was the opposite of the Golden Ass Award, like you would get it.
Well,
yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But there's not. There's only the Golden Ass Award. And maybe some people think I should get it for the basketball video. So, like, I don't know. Maybe I could go home with both this week.
You could. Like, we'll see. We don't know.
Is it like Miley Cyrus where I'm like, this is my first award, my first Emmy or what? Grammy.
She won a Grammy, yeah.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, like, you can like Miley Cyrus and Taylor Swift. There is not the binary. I get frustrated when people are like, you have to be a this or a that. No.
It's true.
You can be both.
You can be both.
Yeah. And if you need a golden ass or some other form of pottery and plant things, you can check out all the cool stuff at Plant Parlor. Like, we've been saying for weeks that they had some big news. And they finally announced it on their Facebook page, so we can say it. They're coming to downtown.
So exciting.
Yes.
But until they move, great sale happening.
Go buy all their stuff.
At their place on Parkway.
Yes.
Plant Parlor on Parkway. Right now, it's on Parkway. Moving downtown. Great moving sale. People should check it out.
They'll be on B Street after they move. So, downtown, you can go buy a drink at Fat Daddy's and walk down to Plant Parlor and buy you some pottery or plants or those things.
This is going great.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on, because I'm hungry and I want to keep going. Last night, the city council had several. You had like an agenda prep meeting, a finance prep meeting. You had a special called.
We had several meetings.
There was a lot happening. And listen, what I knew though is that Nathan called me after the meetings, upset and like with a raised voice, which was like, oh man, I gotta go watch this because something exciting happened.
I was kind of agitated. I was not agitated anyway. Like, it was a great meeting. Like, I love like walking out of those meetings feeling like I've accomplished something. Right. It just feels good. And it seems like every time we have a meeting, that's how I feel. And other people may disagree. Like, there may be people out there who be like, man, we hate what y'all are doing. And like, okay. But no, the frustration that I had really was around just like this specific situation.
There were several things that happened last night. So let's start with the Boys and Girls Club drama.
Okay.
So, So the Boys and Girls Club, folks don't know. Let me give them a brief background. The Boys and Girls Club receives funding from the city every year as a way to help offset the costs of some of the athletic programs they provide to children. It's like a service they provide to the city.
So that the city doesn't have to run those programs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they, they do this like same thing with like the Economic Development Commission.
Yes.
There are some groups
Main Street,
where
Russellville.
they provide a service to the city, and in like to support that, the city provides them with some funding. And last year, the funding was increased from like 80,000 to like
100,000. It went from 70 to 100.
Or 70 to 100, right? Yeah. And so now they're turning in kind of the last of their receipts for the end of 2023.
Yeah, we're still working on the fourth quarter of 2023 with the Boys and Girls Club.
Right. Yeah. So they're turning in receipts, and the county attorney kind of raised some issues saying like, hey, I'm not sure all of these receipts should be covered. There's like stuff in here maybe for volleyball, and we don't, we didn't include volleyball. Like, the whole thing was a lot of drama. And listen,
I love that it's like a lot of drama. It wasn't.
It was a lot of drama. Y'all should watch it. Listen,
from a political standpoint, it was a lot of drama. Yeah.
Justin and Nathan cycle synced up, and they were very emotional. It's worth the watch. It's worth the watch.
Oh yeah. Well, and I mean, I think we were on the same side, me and Justin, because
That's why I said your cycle synced
we
up.
brought our receipts.
Yeah, you did.
We had conversation, and this is the thing. We have required the entity of the city of Russellville has required one of its subsidiaries to complete something, to do something.
Mm-hmm.
We had given them a goal to achieve, and then they went to achieve that goal, and we're not giving them the money yet.
So the thing that gets me
And
about
it just makes me so mad.
the thing that got me for this was that, like, I feel like this could have been a lot smoother, and I feel like a lot of it boiled down to the city attorney's role in the situation of, like, the council was pretty much making it clear that their intent, their goal was that, yes, this should be covered. Volleyball, whatever, like, we want this to be covered. But maybe it wasn't in the policy correctly or whatever. Well, that kind of stuff happens all the time.
Yeah, like we didn't say specifically, okay, Trey, we really want to add volleyball. Can we make sure we get that in the ordinance?
Right.
We just told the director of the Boys and Girls Club,
but
want to do volleyball? We think it's a great idea. Do volleyball.
Right. But the thing for me is, like, the job of the city attorney is that when things like that are happening and the council is making its intent very clear, it's then his job to offer solutions to reach that goal, right?
Right. Yeah.
Like, it's not his job to be like, well, I don't think we should pay this, and I don't think we should pay this. You know what I mean? Like, I get that he has to kind of carry out the policy as it said. He can't change the policy. If the policy doesn't say volleyball, then he can't change that on his own.
Like, we have to change it in a
right.
meeting. Yeah.
But the problem that I see, and this isn't the first time this has happened, this is an ongoing kind of thing, is just this, like, instead of being like, okay, let me tell you how to get where you want to be, because obviously you're all trying to say, like, let's pay this, instead of y'all having to be like, well, could we amend it? What about this? Could we do this? Like, y'all are trying to come back with solutions. He's the lawyer. He's supposed to tell you, here's your legal options to get it done, right? Whether that's an amended contract, a resolution to pay this individual bill, whatever that is, like, that's his job. It's not your job to know that. And I don't understand this, like, hold up of, it was the same thing with the discussion about the rental issues.
Yeah.
This, like, attitude of, like, I didn't do anything wrong and I'm not gonna help you get it done. And that seemed very obvious to me last night. I know you're on council, you can't necessarily say as much about that, but I'm gonna tell you, for me, watching from the outside, I was like, what the hell is going on with Trey Smith right now?
The stress for me was more like, obviously I'm not a lawyer,
Mm-hmm.
The stress for me is I don't always know the solutions, but, like, we have somebody that should know them, and we could have solved this, like, especially last month, because we said last month as well, we added volleyball. And so since December, we've been saying, like, yes, volleyball is part of the thing. And I mean, yes, the rules of parliamentary procedure, like, somebody has to make a motion to do something. But again, like, until we literally, there were 4 of us asked the specific question, and then we finally got to, oh, well, you can amend this and do that and back pay this.
Well, and
thing.
really, that didn't even come from the attorney. That was the representative for the Boys and Girls Club asking you to amend the previous contract. Like, and I don't even know that you have to do all of that, but it was just like, I don't know. I haven't seen, to me, it's like, if you're in that role, a big part of your job is, like, if you understand the will of the council, helping them navigate the process to get there, to get what they want out of it, right? And, like, not to necessarily, like, inject your personal stance, and maybe it's not even personal, but just, like, your opinion on it or whatever, about whether certain things should be paid, whether volleyball should be included. I don't know. The whole thing just seemed really weird.
Well, and I can see if it came out of nowhere, like, this is the first year hearing of it. Like, I get that. But, like, we've been talking about this for almost as long as the quarter. Like, it's almost a whole quarter.
Okay, and then after that, look, I feel like there was a public comment period around something that's typically very boring, like an
Right.
easement and
Yes.
a, drainage ditch and things that
We're
are
trying to widen
typically
the road.
very
Yeah,
boring,
yeah.
very boring. But let me tell you, if you need somebody to replace me on this show,
Yeah.
I wouldn't nominate the guy.
That guy was he was sassy.
I liked him.
Yeah,
I liked him a
yeah.
lot. He was great. And we kind of disagree on the interpretation of what he was
For sure.
saying.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know that we. Okay, you like to disagree with me, and yes,
I love
I
to
feel like
disagree with
he
you.
was saying that. I felt like he was implying that a corporation was bribing the city to do a thing, and you don't feel that way.
That's not how I took
Yeah.
it. He said something about like there being a letter from. So this all was like Americold when they did their expansion. There was kind of an agreement with the previous mayor and city that there would be some handling of this issue with the road.
Right, and
Because-
before Americold moved there, like
Yeah.
we needed to. It was in
Yeah.
the plan
This
to
is
do.
Second Street.
Yeah.
The people who live here, Second Street.
Right,
It's
You
narrow.
got Americold, District Court, Main Street Mission.
Yeah, there's a lot going on down
like,
there.
There's a whole lot
and
of
that
stuff
road's
right there.
very, very narrow.
Yeah.
And so, looking at purchasing this little piece of land that belongs to another company on that road there, POM, who does like the parking meters. And anyway, so he gets up there and look, he said that about the letter, and I thought, to me, I took the letter as like, look, if Americold's willing, they're this big corporation, if they're willing to like cough up money for this land more than the city is, then let me go get my bag, right? Like that's how I took what he was saying, is like,
Yeah.
let me go
Yeah.
negotiate with Americold to sell my land instead of getting kind of what the city's going to pay me, which ain't top dollar, right?
Right.
So that's how
Well,
I took it.
but to the
And so the whole time I'm watching it, and I'm like, Nathan, you just need to calm down and quit being so emotional, because this is not a big deal. Let this
calm
man-
down with your straight white maleness and
Calm down with your male emotions and quit being hysterical, and let this man get his money. But then Councilman Westcott spoke up, and he really did change my mind.
He literally came with emotion.
He really, and I'm not telling him to calm down. 'Cause I loved
but
it.
not like hysteric.
No, it was really
It wasn't
heartfelt and appreciated, and it really changed my mind about the issue. Was he was like talking about the importance of, that the mainstream missions down there, and they serve a lot of people, and that ends up with that road kind of closed down. And if there are emergency services need to get through there, things that need to happen can't happen, and we don't want to treat this like a thing where, oh, the mission's the problem. They're not the problem. They're doing a service to the community that we want to see continue. And so we have to make this work. And I thought that was a really good, really great point. And the way he delivered it was really great, because one of the arguments the landowner was making was that, like, this isn't for the public good.
Right. This is not a public good.
It's to benefit this specific corporation. And I kind of agreed with him. But then hearing Councilman Westcott's perspective on it, I was like, okay, wait. I mean, this really is more about the public good.
Yeah.
I was glad to see it advance. So that'll be coming up on the council agenda for Thursday, right?
The biggest issue in that regard is that, like, we have to be able to move along with the process. The council has to decide whether or not we want to condemn this little 3rd-acre section of this company's property to be able to then acquire it, because the owner has denied any sort of, like, I mean, if we're offering over fair value, like, he wants a specific amount of money, and he wants the city, or really what he wants is Americold to purchase that from him and then give it to us so that we can, which Americold's got a lot of money, I'm sure.
I don't blame him, but my mind changed really, though, when we started talking about the public benefit issue around widening that road for emergency services when it does get closed down on a regular basis.
Yeah, that's what we need to do.
That's really a valid point that needs to be addressed.
So it definitely needs to, like, be resolved soon.
Yeah,
so we can do that.
For sure. But then y'all moved on, and look, I was so proud to see the appropriate amount of fear when y'all started playing with the casino.
I think there was a very much WTF moment for all of the council members when we see on the docket a resolution, which is not an ordinance, it's different. A resolution that basically says, hey, any and all casino operators, casino casino operators. The city of Russellville is not opposed to you purchasing land in Russellville.
Right. And that came from, this was proposed by Councilman Olson
Yeah.
in response to, he said there was some operators who, previously had gotten options on land that was outside of the city limits
Right.
because of the issues they'd had with the previous administration.
Right.
And so he said this was really just to, say, like, you can buy land in the city and we're not going to screw with you, right?
Yeah.
But my favorite part of the response was that y'all were being so like, okay, but wait.
Okay, but this has nothing to do with us making a decision.
We don't want to.
We're not trying to decide who gets
We
the
ain't
casino.
messing. Look, we ain't doing it. I was like, I'm so glad to see you appropriately scared to screw this up. You know what I mean?
We are not. It's the county's decision. Judge Cross has made his decision, and like whatever they decide to do, like we just want everybody to know we're open for business in the city of Russellville.
I was glad to hear that said several times. The city, Russellville is open for business. I love hearing that.
Mm-hmm.
But I just want to say, like, I don't see what the problem is if we also did a resolution to change the water tower from iHeart Russellville to Russellville is legendary. It has nothing to do with a casino. I don't know why you would think that. I don't know why you'd think that.
In blue.
Yeah, whatever color. It's totally, but for whatever operator gets here, they'll feel the same way.
Sure.
Whoever it is.
It is legend. We are a legendary.
We are
city.
legendary.
We are trying to change for the reasons that we are legendary.
So look, let's let's do that resolution and see how it goes. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that.
So yeah, we didn't put our foot in our mouth about the casino. We tried really hard to stay.
You guys did really good. You really did, and it was really nice to see. Also, I do love that y'all are also like aware of the public. Like y'all have caught on, I think, faster than any other local entity, and maybe that's just because I'm friends with y'all and y'all are, that I'm
we're listening to you,
right?
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna be like, what the hell? But like y'all are really good about explaining what's going on, talking about the reasons. I was really impressed with Wes Scott talking like with the Boys and Girls Club, explaining the scrutiny and why you guys are trying to do it right.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and Paul Gray too. Like a lot of people don't know the rules when they come, and so they watch the thing and they're like, well, there's only 4 of these guys talking,
right.
And like, well, this is the finance committee meeting.
Yeah.
And yes, every council member can provide
but only 4
point,
voting.
but only 4 can vote. So like there's just the same with like personnel committee. The 4 of us that are on finance committee, we don't have a vote in the personnel committee.
Yeah.
But there's less, like the finance committee has stuff to talk about every week or every month. Sorry. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I really appreciate the fact that everybody's on board with like, hey, this is what's going on.
Yeah.
It's really cool to be a part of that.
It was really good. I was really glad to see, like what you said, like Paul Gray, I think pausing to explain that process. I think it's so valuable, and I'm really excited to see it in action with the youth council.
Yeah, man. Okay, so very excited about the youth council. That's something that we have been working on for a little while. For those of you who don't know, like the youth council is something that we talked about last week on the show, and so we had applicants send in their application, and we got 31 applicants.
That's awesome.
Like I was just floored the fact that like 31 14 to 18-year-olds were like, we want to hang out with the city council and figure out what's going on.
That's so awesome.
It's like 3% of the schools, the high school. That's like 3% of the high school.
You can't get that many people to run for office.
Yeah.
Like that's amazing.
31. Yeah. So like, and all of their applications were like not just one sentence answers. Like they all had a reason for why they were doing it and a desire to learn more. One of I will say probably the most said thing was there's not enough to do for my age group in the city. And we want to have conversations with them. Like, what do you want to do? So we originally had stated like we want to try to keep it around 15 to 20 students, but it was really hard to pick. It was very hard.
I'm glad y'all brought the whole program.
I went through every application and like you have to rank and choose, but like I'm getting to like number 25 and I'm thinking, we still have a lot of, and I haven't really said no to anybody like at this point. And so I, at that meeting was like, can we just accept them all?
I love it.
And everybody else was like, yeah, we want to do that too, you know?
That's perfect.
So it was great. We decided to include everyone. So all 31 applicants are now part of the youth council. We're going to have an event for them on March the 12th, before the March agenda prep meeting. And we're going to like have like a meal, like food, and we're going to like mingle with them, get to know them. And then we'll do like a swearing in ceremony for them.
I love it.
And then we'll try to meet with them a little bit before the agenda prep meeting and kind of get their one-on-one, like, what do you want for Russellville? Like, what kind of things would you like to see us do? So
I love that. That's awesome. That's
awesome. I'm really excited about it.
Well, the city wasn't the only ones with some good things happening this last week or so. Mm-hmm. The county quorum court approved unanimously a 4% cost of living adjustment for full-time county employees. It goes back to the beginning of the year.
From January on, Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so that was really exciting. You know, they haven't, look, our county employees are not just raking in dough. Like they definitely deserved the adjustment, and it was good to see that go through unanimously. You know, there's a couple that I always expect to vote against it.
I was really like, I was just like, that good on them. I don't know if there's anybody in there that's, you know, it's election season or anything like that, but it's coming up, election season. So,
it is.
But they have been talking about it for a while. There's been some back and forth over the last couple of years about,
and it needed to happen.
Yeah.
Boy, it needed to happen. But election season's coming, like you said, and we are all about helping people get ready and informed to vote. And so we have a fun event coming up.
Yes. So the old bank is going to open up specifically for us for this event. So it'll be Monday night, February the 19th. We will have a candidate forum. I've spoken to all of the candidates. I've got a lot coming to answer questions. We are narrowing down the
topics for the conversation.
What we want to be able to so that they can present a coherent message. Mm-hmm. And I think it's gonna be really exciting. Like, there'll be food and drinks and politics.
Yeah, it's going to be really great. It's at the old bank, and we'll have it online if you can't make it, but come join us in person so you can mingle with the candidates, get to know them. Mm-hmm. And then early voting starts the next day.
And I also think it would be a good thing, like if you've ever thought about running for office, like you should come, because this is like one of the things that you would be, if you were going to run, this is a thing that you would do. And to be able to see how people interact, like, one of the things that really helped me make the decision to run for office was to talk to people who were in office. And then it was like, oh yeah, I mean, no offense to that person, but they're not any more special than I am.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And
Although I will say that I think asking candidates, being like, how do you feel about running for office when they're like the day before early vote, like at this stage of a campaign is kind of a trick question. Yeah. Because they're supposed to be like, yes, you should do it too. But I know, because I've worked with somebody, like internally, they're like, I will never do this again. I'm so tired and I'm so stressed out, and I haven't sat down and had a real meal in 6 days. You know what I mean? At that level, like at that stage when you're just trying so hard to get every vote, get every door you can. I mean, all of that is so busy.
I don't think it's as stressful locally. And having done both, I will say,
the most stressful part's going to be taking questions from us.
Yeah. I did not work as hard. I worked hard for my city council race. But we worked real hard in the state race. I
worked hard on both of your races.
Yeah.
Maybe you didn't, but I did. I'm just kidding. You worked hard.
I worked hard.
You worked.
I was texting 50 people a day.
I know. You did a good job. You did a great job. All right.
Calm down.
Calm down, Nathan. Calm down. All right. I think that's it.
Is that it?
I think that's all we
talked about everything, because nobody apparently it wasn't super controversial because
and I'm hungry, so
we
let's
didn't have
wrap
a whole
it
lot.
up.
If you guys have any questions, feel free to message us or to comment on the video, and we'll try to get to your response in any way we can. Please share this video with your friends and let them know what's going on in the River Valley, politically and otherwise. And we'll see y'all next week.